Hello there, Libra. It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we are going to be doing your mid-October reading. So this is good from now until mid-November. So for about the next 4 or 5 weeks. So we'll take a look at the overall energies with the Oracle cards, and then we'll move to the Tarot for more details. And if you're enjoying the content that I create or resonating with the message, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider commenting, or subscribing. I really do appreciate all of your support. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Bobcat Spirit, life is a mystery. All right, and great adventure. Take a risk, venture forward. Okay, I am not surprised. This is a really intense energy. That life really is a mystery. There's something, you're going in a new direction or getting an offer. We'll go to the Tarot and figure that part out. But it's kind of like, this is such a mystery to you. You're going to be like, I cannot believe this is on my path. I can't believe this. How did I get here? But it's all good. It's all good. It's a really, really solid, nice energy. So let's see what we have here. You know, the Bobcat Spirit is the number 8, understanding, as in heaven is as below. So it's the energy that this is truly divinely guided. Yeah, wow. I don't know what you're trying to manifest. Okay. So, oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so you have the law of attraction, and truth be told, I feel like there is almost this sense of either wanting to tell somebody else the truth or to figure out the truth in a certain situation. And you're trying to breathe new life, more of a give and take in a certain situation. So this could be a work situation, but it could be a family situation because we have community. It's almost as if you may have overgiven in the past, or the balance of power or the balance of give and take in a certain situation has gotten out of whack. And it's almost as if you are finding a new way to bring balance into your life. Something that you haven't tried before. That is the adventure of this. It's really very much of kind of like a spiritual energy here, of spirit coming in to help you with this. Yeah, so let's see. You have Strength card on the bottom. This is something that you really want to do. You're kind of wanting to adventure out, to do something in a new way. To not, I don't have the pattern card here, but it is that energy of I want to break out. I want to break free of thinking something has to be a certain way, That could be because we have the community card, okay? So, like 3 years ago, right? We never thought about having so many people work remotely at home, right? And now that's a kind of a new thing, But it's a situation, once again, either in your workplace or in your family life, could be in your friend group, but there's a strong sense of we have to do something different here, a sense of evolving, of being able to say, okay, what we're doing now is not bringing us fulfillment. It may not necessarily be bad, but it's kind of like we could all feel a lot more. They're showing me the birds flying around. We could feel a lot more free if we took this situation, the way we're looking at how we work or how we live, and changed it up a little bit. We could have more freedom. Within the same thing, right? Within the same community. So it's not like, okay, I have to leave this community. It's like, hey, how can we evolve the way that this looks, the way that we work, or the way that we live? So there's this sense of you're seeking happiness, more happiness in a certain situation, but you have the 5 of Swords. So it's kind of like this past, right? This is the way we've always done it. It's almost that sense of you know, going when you were a kid, you go ask your mom if you could go do something and she'd say no. And you'd say, well, why not? And she'd be like, because I said so, right? It's almost that type of energy. Whereas you want to make a change either in your workspace or in your family living situation or some area of your life, but you're trying to communicate with these other people. I want to make a change. I don't want to leave. I don't want to be forced to leave the community, but I'm not super happy. I want more fulfillment in whatever this situation is. And it's almost as if your boss or the other people you work with or the people you live with are like, no, we're keeping it the same, okay? Things don't change. We don't want to change. So let's go ahead and clarify that. Yeah, because I feel like you're thinking, I may have to end the situation, but ending the situation isn't really what you want, okay? I think you're coming to terms that you may have to end it if you can't get this to work out. But there's something here. Wow, this is a lot of cards. Okay, so yeah, you have a lot of anxiety, you know, about how do I drop this burden of being in this situation? How can I, you know, have this freedom to kind of do what I want, but yet still, because the Empress is mother energy, kind of, but still be in the flock. Wow. Right. So, I mean, I think the remote working is kind of like a scenario that we can all understand. You know, everybody is perhaps working in their own house, but yet you're still in the same community. It could be that you're trying to build a new community to be a part of, but I don't feel like you really necessarily want to end the community you're with. It's almost this energy of, can't we do this a different way? Isn't there a different way? I mean, like 5 years ago, if you had, or maybe not you, but you know, a lot of people had gone in and said to their boss, like, can I work remotely from home? Right? Your boss would have said no. If you don't want to come to work, forget it. It's done. You can find another job, right? And now a lot of people are, that is an option for them, or at least some days of the week. You know, even where I live, you know, people that were working completely remotely for a while, you know, now they're back in the office maybe a day or two of the week. So it's kind of like a hybrid, you know, type of thing. So I feel like that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to break out of a pattern. So you have the Four of Pentacles here. You know, this is at status quo, trying to go in a new direction. So come to the edge is like the Fool card. Trying to see this in a different light. Really interesting, because Gemini had a really interesting energy of this. I think the air signs are, you know, of course you're the air, right? It's almost as if the air signs are being called to be perhaps the trailblazers of looking at situations in different lights and trying to gain a different perspective of how they could work. You know, breaking down some of those traditional barriers that we have had in situations, you know. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, you see, there is something about, you know, look at this. And this is your energy, the Queen of Swords. You can see that, you know, there's something that you want to end about this situation, not maybe necessarily the whole situation. There's something that you want to end about the situation. There's something that you want to keep about the situation. So, you know, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to weigh the odds of, you know, how do I talk the people that I'm involved with in this situation? How do I talk to them? How do I convince them that we can have, you know, longevity if we're willing to end the belief that has to look a certain way? Yeah, and then you have the Chariot. Look at this. You're the Magician, the Chariot, and the Wheel of Fortune. You can move. It's almost as if when you make this change, it brings you not only a lot of a lot more joy, fulfillment, happiness, blessings. It's like it brings it to the whole community. The thing is that you really have to, it's about getting some other people on board with your thinking. Because here you are, you're resting. I really feel like you're kind of thinking about it, spending some time, it soars energy, almost thinking about it. How can I see, it's so funny because Gemini, they were trying to mediate between like two camps, trying to get them to work together, I feel like you're the same way, kind of like mediating. There could be two camps in your office or two camps in a family situation, or you're just one camp and everybody else is another camp. But once again, you're kind of like, I don't want to leave it. I just want a fresh start in this connection and coming into this confidence of being able to convince the other people in this situation, this can work out, So your advice is that, there is treasure here. You do not want to completely leave this situation. You've been thinking about it. Whatever this is, it could be a job and there's something that you really love about it, or it pays really well, but, you want to work remotely or whatever. There's almost this sense, there's a lot of treasure here. I don't want to give up the treasure in this situation, but I don't know how I can balance it with something else that you may want. That's the other thing, is you're wanting almost like two things. You're trying to figure, very much that temperance energy of trying to figure out, how can I have, I don't want to say my cake and eat it too. It's not necessarily like that. You're not being kind of greedy. What you're doing is you're understanding that what you want, okay, is also going to help the community. You're not doing this just for you, Libra. That's what I love about this. You're kind of like trying to juggle this, trying to figure this out for everybody in this situation. Now, I feel like maybe initially this is kind of like your idea, or you're thinking, well, some people might think I'm trying to be a little bit selfish because this really does help me. But I feel like you also recognize that this is going to help other people too. So it's not completely selfish at all. Yeah, having the strength and courage. Yeah. For some of you, wow, okay, there is an energy of, it definitely could be in family, because we have the Six of Cups, a situation that is a little bit heartbreaking, because I have the Three of Swords here, okay? So there's some heartache perhaps in this family situation or in this work situation. There is a chance for it to reunite though. We have the Judgment and we have the Ace of Cups. It's almost as if there's this message that together we are stronger than we are when we're all completely separated, okay? So because here we have the Strength card twice, having the courage to speak up about your ideas, to float your ideas. That's interesting. Float your ideas out there, even though you're not sure how they will be, received, at least initially, coming from a very heart-centered space. So you have to kind of get out of your air energy, Libra, a little bit, and come from a very loving space, offering, just coming in a little bit with a very soft, approach to this, because this can really work out, whatever this is. The other people in this situation want the same thing. It's almost as if you have to come in with a soft sell. That's interesting. Soft sell in order to be able to have the conversation open. Let's put it that way. So there is an opening of a conversation. And I really do feel for a lot of you, it is in a family situation. So I'm going to throw a scenario out. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps you've been divorced, you've gotten divorced, and, the community would be your your ex and then children that you may have had. It could be extended family. You see, there's a lot of community here, and the holidays are coming up, and it's kind of like, okay, how can we get everybody together, or how can everybody enjoy the holidays? And in the past, maybe, the children went to one household on Thanksgiving and the other household on Christmas or something like that. And you're kind of like, well, that's fine, except that, I'm not really happy about that, because then that means I have to spend one holiday without the kids. I really want to be able to spend the holidays with the kids. So how can we do this, So then the next suggestion might be, well, they go to both households on the same day, right? And then the kids are kind of like, well, I don't want to do that. That's a lot of being in the car, and, I have to eat 2 big turkey dinners, and, so the children aren't happy about that. So then it's kind of like, okay, let's step out of the box. What can we do? Now this is really interesting, because I wasn't really sure where I was going to go with this, but they're giving me a scenario where you maybe rent like 2 cabins in the woods right next to each other, and one house, maybe the mom is in one house with her close relatives, right? And then the dad is in the other house with some other relatives, right? And the kids can run back and forth all day long. And maybe you decide that, you'll all eat pumpkin pie together or something like that. It's almost like, okay, we got to think of other options. We cannot be confined to, it's got to be this house or that house. What other options can we have? And seriously, depending on your situation with your ex, this could be a big stepping out of your comfort zone, right? To be in, a cabin right next door. So I'm not saying that's an easy scenario for everyone, but I think that there is kind of like this, okay, I think I can do that, because it's really important for me to have the children feel like they can be with both families on the same day, you can work that out. But it is thinking outside of the box in this situation that brings happiness. And it definitely does. It brings a lot of happiness. There's almost this sense of, okay, we can move forward in a much more loving way, right? And perhaps there is a sense of reuniting in some capacity. It does not mean that you have to actually get remarried or something, but maybe you're looking at this as, oh my goodness, we've gotten to this very loving place. As a family unit, really, lots of highlighted love here, of looking past maybe what it is that you like, not focusing on necessarily exactly what you want, but what is good for everyone involved in a very high spiritual sense. Very, I want to say spiritually mature, because that's what it is. It's not putting your needs first, not doing anything you don't want to do. I don't mean that, but it's almost a sense of, okay, I'm willing to give on something in order for my children to feel, loved and happy and have fond memories on Thanksgiving, Really lovely energy. All right, let's go to your soul truth card. And Libra, I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Am I communicating my needs? I feel like that's what it is. You're communicating your needs of what it is that you want to feel happy, truly happy on like Thanksgiving Day, right? Your needs matter. What are you needing right now that you haven't communicated? What are you afraid of? Is it possible that what you are fearing is not true? Journal these answers. What are my needs? Am I saying no enough based on my desires or yes enough based on my desires? Am I telling my full truth? Do I believe that my needs matter, and do I share them with others? Do I ask for what I want? When communicating my needs, what am I resisting and with whom? What do I need in order to feel safe enough to express my needs? And I think it comes down to the fact that I think you're getting to a point in some situation where you're like, yeah, the way it's working is not really making me happy. Not all of my needs are being met. And so is there a way we can work on this? Being able to have that communication. And there's a good sense of flexibility here. Now I'm going to come back to the Bobcat mystery. It says Bobcat spirit, life is a mystery. This is a great adventure. You're kind of like doing something different because you're focusing on the happiness of not just yourself. I think you're going to be surprised that there are other people in this situation that feel the same way as you, right? So it's kind of like having the courage, because you have the strength card twice, having the courage to put it out there about, how you're feeling about certain situation, and what you would like to change about it. And then being open, right? Being open to brainstorming ideas of how this can, kind of be worked out so everybody's happy. All right, well, Libra, I'm going to leave it there. I do wish you so much love and light in this situation and all your situations. I appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.